Behavior hates balanced landing. Or do they? Well, that is the question we will be hopefully answering in this video today. My name is Andrikens, I'm a DBD/horror game content creator, and today we'll be talking about what seems to be a pattern with new maps in Dead by Daylight: the lack of a great height. Other perks such as Boilover and Thunder Thighs, All Shake and Thunder, fall into this category of perks needing a great height. But Thunder Thighs rarely sees play, and Boilover is only good in a bully squad, so the focus will mostly be on balanced landing, which I think is the perk Behavior is trying to slowly but surely eliminate, and I see nobody talking about it at all, even though balanced landing is a pretty popular perk. I actually made another video talking about this exact topic, where new maps somewhat lacked great heights, but that was before Trix's Delusion was released. And when I noticed it was the third map in a row to not feature a great height, it started confirming my suspicions that Behavior might decided that heights and perks like balanced landing have no place in Dead by Daylight. I'm a balanced landing enjoyer, and this situation actually has me worried if moving forward we're gonna keep getting more and more maps that don't feature a height. But to understand why Behavior might have taken this choice to not feature heights, we have to first understand perks like balanced landing and what problems they do create, because the perks are definitely not perfect. Quite the opposite actually. Balanced landing, without even realizing, is one of the most frustrating perks to face as a killer, but because it's not as common as a survivor running sprint burst and zooming away in your face, people don't complain about it as much, but it can absolutely be better than sprint burst in maybe not making distance, but at wasting the killer's precious time. Balanced landing, unlike any other exhaustion perk, it gives you a secondary effect that when falling from a height and not exhausted, you get 75% less stagger effect. Normally, when you play as survivor and fall from a height, you will get staggered in place and the killer will probably be able to catch you easier, but balanced landing absolutely bypasses that and also gives you a speed boost on top of it. Survivors mostly try to avoid falling from heights, for this exact reason, but when you have a perk that can take advantage of that situation, you ultimately get a perk that is just there to waste as much of the killer's time as possible, since usually, second floors are accessed by one or two staircases where the killer has to walk up to, and in some cases, second floor buildings can be pretty huge, like Ormond Resort and Lake Mine. Even on hills, you bait the killer on chasing you up there, just so you drop down, get no stagger, 50% speed boost, and zoom away to the next loop. Balanced landing has the unique effect of turning otherwise places you probably wouldn't want to be at as survivor into a loop, where the killer, if they want to get you, are just going to waste their time. Honestly, balanced landing never lives my build, and it hasn't for the past 5 years, because the moment I take the perk off, I feel like I play a completely different game because no other perk changes the way DBD is played like balanced landing. Then there's Boilover, a perk that when got buffed became so problematic, everyone was dying on the second floor of buildings to force the kill to pick them up and then instantly wiggle off. Thankfully, the perk was toned down a lot, but it's still problematic in the bully squad of everyone running Breakout, Saboteur, Exponential, and probably Flip-Flop, and try their best to bring the killer to Eye of Crows. But since statistically it's rare, Behavior aren't really looking into this one, I think. Then the biggest problem for Behavior is great heights, and specifically balanced landing, since Boilover is way too rare to see unless it's a survive with friends, and Thunder Thighs is not a good perk, so the biggest offender of this category is indeed balanced landing. Great heights create this weird dynamic in Dead by Daylight, which honestly is nice to have, and I prefer heights to be in the game than not, but as much as I love balanced landing, I can understand why Behavior might think that a perk like that doesn't belong in the game anymore. Not necessarily because of how strong the perk is, but because of what it allows survivors to do, with little to no counterplay unless you're playing nurse. This is interesting indeed if you think about the fact that right before Freddy's Fuckboys Pizzeria released, which was the map that started this no great height trend, we got Ormond Lake Mine, which features 5 to 6 different spots for perks like balanced landing to be used on. So, it does make me wonder, when was this decision made? Probably when thinking about quality of life changes in DBD? I don't know, it's really weird. If I'm being honest, I don't have anything to suggest on how this can be fixed, so you can keep making maps with great heights included, since I don't think how strong balanced landing is the problem, since it's not even considered that meta. Lithe, Dead Hard, and of course Sprint Burst are most usually associated with meta exhaustion perks, because they can be used almost whenever, like balanced landing is restricted to great heights. But in maps like RPT, the game, and Ormond Lake Mine, I could absolutely argue that balanced landing is in fact maybe the best exhaustion perk you could be running. But a perk relying on the map you get, if it's gonna be good or not, it's not going to be as a popular choice, since many of the other maps still only feature one hill, one place only where balanced landing can be used on. Has always suffered from poor map balancing, since in some maps, even back in the day, it was absolutely useless. For example, Old Shelled Woods. And then in maps like Haddonfield, the perks essentially gave you God mode. Now, the thing that has been in my mind that led me to make this video is, what are Behavior's plans regarding great heights and balanced landing going forward? I don't think Behavior will try to eliminate great heights from every single map. However, from what we have seen in the past 3 maps, it makes me lose hope that future maps will feature a great height, because I think they are trying to make perks like balanced landing and boilover a lot less common because of the problems they create without having to nerf them or rework them completely. Because how are you going to rework a perk like balanced landing, which by name is obviously a perk that makes you, well, balance your landing? If they want to rework it, they will have to change the effect and the name. Boilover could get reworked, however, a lot of high MMR players would absolutely tell you the perk should be reworked ASAP, but I don't see that coming anytime soon, as other perks are probably more problematic. I also don't see any previous maps getting reworked to remove heights, cause how the fuck do you remove heights from RPD, Midwich, the game? You don't. You just simply don't. But just not including heights, it's not really a solution, because in the end, you have situations where survivors waste the perk slot on a perk like balanced landing and are left to play with only 3 perks. So either keep adding 1 or 2 great heights max for these perks to be used on, or just simply rework them so great heights can be played the same every single time. Doesn't matter if someone is running balanced landing to make that specific kill basically wasted time for the killer. Or just simply keep it as is. Yes, I think balanced landing does create frustrating moments, but other perks create even bigger frustrating moments, like Shoulder the Burden. If anyone at Behavior is watching, please do my favorite perk justice moving forward, and just give us balanced landing enjoyers one small great height so we can actually use and enjoy your perk. Thank you everyone for watching and hearing me yap. This was something I wanted to talk about for a while now, because balanced landing holds a deep and big place in my heart, and I finally finished my exams at uni, so I finally had time to talk about it and make this video. I stream on Twitch almost daily, except Wednesday and Saturday, and I play DBD, a big variety of horror games, and sometimes story puzzle games. The rest of my socials can be found in the description, including my Discord. Don't forget to leave your thoughts about balanced landing and great heights down below in the description. I read every single comment and I always reply, so feel free to do that. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.